What's going on, people? I am Swaver, joined by my amazing co-host Lovejoy. This is Opinionated Fact, and tonight we're going to be talking about loneliness. I was doing some research and I found that between 30 to 60% of adult people in America go through feeling lonely on a regular basis, with people from the ages of 18 to 22 being the loneliest group, and the older to elderly group of people are actually the ones that are more prone to feeling or being lonely. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with somebody that may be able to benefit from this content. And so first, what does it mean to be lonely? Joy, can you tell us what that is?
Absolutely. So I was looking at this article on psychologytoday.com, and the question was asked, what defines being lonely? And it says loneliness is the state of distress or discomfort that results when one perceives a gap between one's desire for social connection and actual experiences of it. It then says even some people who are surrounded by others throughout the day or are in a long-lasting marriage still experience deep loneliness.
That's a topic in itself, feeling lonely in marriage, being with somebody every day.
hmm
But I could definitely say that I've been in a group and still felt lonely. What about you?
Yeah, like you said with the marriage, and a lot of times marriages they'll take it personal. Well, I must be doing something. Well, they're upset with me. But sometimes people just go through those periods. But I've definitely felt moments of being lonely, even when I'm around a whole bunch of people. I could be at gatherings, I could be around family, and you could still feel like I'm really by myself. Maybe because you're going through something mentally or internally that you ain't told nobody about. But I definitely have felt lonely even when I'm around a group of people.
I couldn't agree with you more. I remember sometimes growing up and being at home with my family and even sometimes being around my friends, but this time in particular, just being with my family, I remember feeling away. We was having like a group conversation, if you will, but I just remember thinking to myself, like, I'm here physically, but mentally I'm somewhere else. And I'm feeling a way, but I didn't feel like I could express myself at the time. And that was what I guess my experience with loneliness would be in the group would be. Now, my family loves me and I love them too, but sometimes when you don't know how to express yourself or you feel like maybe someone wouldn't understand you, that could also make you feel lonely. And that kind of brought me to this article, healthdirect.gov.au. Did you see that too, Joy?
Yes, I did.
I guess what we'll do, we'll go through that article a little bit and try to give our audience a little bit of information about a few things dealing with loneliness. So this article talks about isolation as well. And if you guys want to look it up, it's Health Direct, and it's on healthdirect.gov.au, and it's talking about loneliness and isolation. So one of the things this article talks about is, why do I feel lonely or isolated? It says that you can feel lonely or isolated for many reasons, even when other people are around, what we just kind of talked about. It says living alone or lacking close family around you. What do you think about that, Joy?
I agree. I experienced the living alone part some years ago. I moved to Florida and I was there by myself. No aunties, uncles, mom, dad, sister, brother. I didn't know anybody there. And trying to keep a bold face in front of my mom so she didn't feel like I wasn't going to make it. But I boohoo cried before she could even get out the door because I knew I was about to be alone and I wasn't used to just being me by myself. So definitely felt lonely and isolated when I moved to Florida. Like I got better at it, but the initial move was really rough.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely see that. Another point that it talks about on here is grieving for a friend, spouse, or your partner, going through a separation, divorce, or family breakup. I can definitely see that one too. Retire from work. I know a lot of people, they
Not
want to.
working?
Yeah, because you get away from all, but you also get away from the people. So it's like, I don't like the stress, but I miss the people. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Right.
living away from home for the first time, I can see that. Having a language or a cultural barrier or being away from your culture or origin. This is true because when I went over to Peru and I was not talking that language, I couldn't understand what people were saying. Man, it really was a challenge. But until you go over and be in a space like that where you don't really understand people, they don't really understand you, especially when that language barrier, that could be a serious issue.
Yes, it can.
It says other reasons to feel lonely or isolated include feeling worried or stressed, because I know a lot of people do deal with worry and stress on their own, being bullied in school or just by anybody or in any situation, feeling unsure about your sexuality. Now, that was different. I didn't really think of that, but I guess I can see that too when you're kind of going through maybe a time where you're trying to figure things out.
Yes.
Having a mental health problem such as depression or anxiety, and having a physical disability. I can also see physical disability because sometimes, especially when you're a kid, maybe you got something going on that's preventing you from playing with the other little kids, and sometimes you may feel lonely because you're feeling left out.
Yeah, especially on the worried and stressed part. I think that's probably where, when you talked about the statistics and the older adults about being lonely, because you do get stressed about, do I got enough money? Do I have enough for retirement? Do I have this going on? So you start to get worried. I know it's a lot of things like we don't share with our family because we don't want them to be worried. Also, we're not trying to share the stress. So a lot of times we have to deal with it by ourselves, and it creates this isolation or loneliness because you really want to talk about it, but if you talk about with this person, it might make them worried also, and it don't make sense for both of y'all to be worried.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go to the next part of the article that talks about how can loneliness and isolation affect my health. Now, this is a big one too because I think people need to pay attention to this and how loneliness and isolation can affect your health. So, underneath that, it says feeling connected to others is important for our mental and physical well-being and can protect against anxiety and depression. If you feel alone or socially isolated for a long time, you might experience physical or mental problems or do things that are bad for you. So, Joy, could you kind of go over a few of those?
Yeah, so they have physical symptoms like you can have headaches and feeling ill, pain, feeling tired. You get 8 hours of sleep and you still wake up tired. Talk about mental health conditions, like we said before, depression and anxiety, panic attack, low energy. You don't feel motivated to do anything. You can have diet problems. So a lot of us tend to just eat when we bored and we're alone and we'll have nothing else to do. You can have negative feelings such as hopelessness or thinking about doing something to your life, and also substance abuse such as drinking alcohol or misusing medications. I would say probably the one I experienced was the physical symptoms of just feeling tired and like, no, I just want to just lay down all day long, knowing you got a good night's sleep, but you just don't have the motivation to do anything.
I'll agree. I think the things that I would say I could identify with would be low energy and sleep problems. But I also know some other people that have dealt with negative feelings, such as maybe even thinking about committing suicide. And definitely
Mm-hmm.
a lot of substance abuse. And a lot of people deal with substance abuse issues, especially when they're feeling down or isolated or feeling lonely. So now let's talk about what can help. It says that you can do many things to help overcome loneliness and isolation and improve your life. It says connected with family and friends. So I won't go through all of these, but I'll talk about a few of them. But yeah, connected with family and friends, connected with communities online or in person. No, this is important. I want to go through these things with you guys. So let's go back up to connected with family and friends. When you're feeling lonely, it can be challenging to connect with others, but that's just what you need to do. Reach out to a family member, workmate, or neighbor. It can help you to feel better, and it's likely that they will appreciate a call from you, text or email. Connected with communities online or in person. You might like to join a club, organization, or online community. There are many opportunities such as volunteering at a local charity, joining a walking or sporting club, or joining an online community for your special interests. This will help you to create and maintain meaningful friendships. Now, they have a lot of other things, so I won't go through everything, but just get out of the house and be active. I know a lot of people have dealt with loneliness and they just want to stay in the house and be to themselves. But yeah, you should get out. Volunteering. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say yes, especially on the being active. When I was in Florida and I was getting lonely, I started looking online, like Googling certain classes or things to do. And it was so interesting because you don't realize how much is out there to actually do until you do it. Like I went to this impromptu class where you got to be involved and they would point at you and you got to pick up where the other person left off. And I was so scared because I'm not really big on public speaking. I know you would never know because I talk so much on here, but I was just like involved in the class. And I even went to like the Zumba class. And that's where I met one of my close friends at. But you definitely have to get out and be active because staying in the house is not going to help.
That's true. And even though you may be feeling lonely, yeah, go out and find a friend. I'm sure wherever you're going, there's more people there than staying at home by yourself. Last thing we'll talk about is spending time with animals. I'm not much of an animal person, but I can definitely see how if you're feeling alone, having that pet to play with can make you feel a little bit better. What are your thoughts on that, Joy?
Now you know I love dogs, but I agree with you on spending time. Like I look forward to coming home and speaking to him, and although he's not speaking back, but his body be wagging so hard, so I definitely can see how sometimes, like if I'm sad, him just being there or sitting beside me or wanting to play. I think animals definitely definitely help out when you have those moments of loneliness.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not necessarily a pet person, but I can definitely see how somebody else can benefit from that. You guys, we kind of went a lot of this article because we wanted to give more of the research than we had from our own personal experiences, even though we put a few of those in there. But I think if you're going through something, especially isolation or loneliness, go and seek help. I mean, if it's something that you think that you just going through temporarily, then that's fine. Get through that point, and I guess bring it on back now. You know what I'm saying? Because we need everyone.
That's right. No, I'll say that's right. Go if you need help, go get it.
Right. Sometimes it's difficult to deal with people, but hey, we need them. What do y'all think about this particular topic and how we did things this time? Journey will be back. She just had something she had to do. So you guys, she will be back. No worries. Thank y'all so much for the continued support, man. We really appreciate y'all. And let us know if it's anything you guys want us to cover. I am Swaver, joined by Lovejoy. This is Opinionated Facts. Until next time, peace.